And it's starting.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back. This is episode 5 of the Playbook Podcast. It's good to be back. I was gone last week. The boys, Trey and Jaden, held it down, of course, in my absence, but it's good to be back. We got a lot to talk about today. We got some NFL, got some college ball, and then we're going to jump around to a couple different sports, but we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this, starting off with Thursday night football. Thursday night football saw the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons facing off against each other. It's actually a really good game. It's probably the best Thursday game we've had in quite some time. I'm pretty happy with that because sometimes Thursday games are really, really boring. But the Falcons ended up winning 36-30. It was an absolute shootout. Kirk Cousins threw for over 500 yards, 509 yards, 4 touchdowns, and only 1 interception. Just a crazy game all around. You had guys on the Falcons like Drake London and Darnell Mooney both going for over 100 receiving yards and multiple touchdowns. Baker Mayfield had a pretty solid game himself. He didn't really throw the ball like Kirk had to, but he threw for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. But overall, a really fun Thursday night game. I'm not sure how much it means. I guess we got to see a little bit more out of the Falcons. And there goes Jaden again. He really enjoys doing that.
Jaden.
Maybe he just doesn't like talking about football. I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and continue on. He'll join back here in a little bit. But yeah, we had an interesting game here, Trey.
Yeah,
it was a barn burner, man. It was a fun one. It was a good time. But do you have any takeaways from this game at all? I mean, it's we kind of just learning about these teams. So what are your takeaways from this?
I think that Kirk Cousins, has MVP case. I mean, I'm not trying to say he's an MVP, but he has an MVP case, man. I mean, I think this will help their chance of winning that division too.
Definitely.
Because people were saying that, I know the Buccaneers were favored to win the division after I think after they beat the Eagles, but tell you what, man, Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, maybe primetime Kirk. We can't joke about that anymore. I guess I don't know. He was dicing. He 500 yards. That's a lot of yards.
Yeah,
that's a lot of yards. There he is. He's back. Welcome back, Jaden. We're good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back.
I just apparently like getting kicked out.
Yeah, it's okay. We got some beef. Jaden's got some beef with StreamYard. We got to figure that out. But, Jaden, your thoughts on that Thursday night game, if you have any?
I mean, not just the game itself, but I mean, I know they didn't come out, but Drake London actually has been looking really good recently.
Mm-hmm.
He's been putting up some good numbers. He started off pretty slow this season, but his past few games have actually been pretty impressive. So, and I mean, 500 yards from Kirk Cousins, that's pretty crazy.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely Drake London's coming out game. He's that was kind of what everyone thought he was going to be, albeit it was against a really battered Tampa Bay Buccaneers secondary. I know they're missing a lot of guys right now, but still a great game. 150 receiving yards is 150 receiving yards. He's 12 catches on 13 targets. He's really high efficiency. So yeah, overall, I thought that was a really fun game. I'm not sure how much it means going forward. I mean, obviously the Falcons got to win over a division rival, which is great. But they're both 3-2. It's still early. That division's kind of up for grabs now that the Thanos Saints have fallen off the cliff. We'll talk about them a little later, but I think it's between these two teams for that division. I'm excited to see who's able to make it out. I think both teams have a really, really good chance to do so. So, yeah, that was a fun one. Overall, just a fun game, a really fun game. If you guys were able to, whoever was able to watch it. What's up?
Those are Madden numbers.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that was crazy. That was super fun, super exciting. Hopefully, next Thursday game will be that good. It probably won't be, but
Nah.
We can hope. We can hope. But yeah, moving on, we're going to jump over here to the game that was played at 9:00 in the morning. If you're in Central Time, this game was held in London. It was the Jets versus the Vikings. One thing I know for sure is Aaron Rodgers does not like London, apparently, because he cannot play. Vikings pulled it out. It was a close one, 23-17. Aaron Rodgers had 244 yards, passing on 54 attempts, which is horrible, and 29 completions. That put his yards per attempt at 4.5 yards per attempt. Really, really poor. 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. I mean, I don't remember the last time I saw Aaron Rodgers throw 3 interceptions. Even Sam Darnold himself wasn't that great. He only had 179 yards on 14 completions and 31 attempts, and he had a interception of his own. So this was an interesting, really gritty game. The Vikings win again. They're now 5-0. The one of 2 teams still remaining undefeated, them and the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, is this for real? Or are they having an early season Cinderella run? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on this, Trey? I'll start with you. Like, we've talked about the Vikings a lot because they keep winning.
Yeah.
Like, could they win the NFC? Like, are they just going to win the NFC? What's going on here?
They have a chance, but Sam Darnold, because that defense didn't look good on Sunday at all.
Mm-mm.
I think that was his lowest. He didn't even have a touchdown. No,
He didn't. No.
And that defense is really elite. Really elite. And,
they played a good defense. That's true.
And even though that coach got adjusted, but on Jets, but you know what? I think 50-50 of it, Cinderella and then for real, because I think they got brought back to earth and got humbled on Sunday. Even though they won the game, still ugly win.
It was definitely ugly, and for me, I just don't know if my brain can comprehend Sam Darnold like winning a Super Bowl or even going to one. So I'm pretty sure they're on a Cinderella run. We're going to talk about Justin Jefferson here in a little bit because I got some questions on him. But Jaden, what do you think? The Vikings legit, not legit? What's going on here?
I don't know. Like Trey said, it was a pretty nasty win. I mean, it wasn't anything like, oh yeah, that's the Vikings. They're doing good this season. I mean, they're 5-0, and I'll give them credit to be 5-0 because I mean, like you said, only the Chiefs are the only team who's 5-0. But I don't know. I just I hope they're not gonna do to us like the Saints did and give us all this hope and
I mean, definitely, it's possible. They're in a tough division. That NFC North is the only division where every team is over 500. It's a tough division. We're going to talk about a couple of those teams here in a little bit. But, moving on to Justin Jefferson. I have a question, guys. I have a question. I just hear me out, okay? Is Justin Jefferson the second best player in football? Not receiver. Second best player in football. If you watch what he does for the Vikings, he opens up so much of the offense. I know it didn't really show in this game. They still were able to score 23 points. Yeah. I understand that. But what Justin Jefferson does is he single-handedly shifts the weight of the field, right? You have to bracket him. You have to have an extra guy on him. And he's the best contested catcher I've ever seen in a long, long time. He's fantastic. And he doesn't have the numbers that maybe some people would think. But if you watch the game, his impact on the field, his gravity, if you will, is so impressive. I think he might be the second best player in football. What do you guys think, Trey?
I think right now he's the MVP of the NFL right now. Honestly. This year, I thought he was going to leave last year, this offseason, because of the whole contract stuff like that. But right now, I have him as MVP. Right now, he's third in yards, tied third for touchdowns, 14th in receptions, and I haven't seen this kind of stuff since probably Randy Moss, mossing over people like that.
It's
Him,
insane.
I mean, not only that, he reminds me a little bit of Jerry Rice too, man, with the route running, appreciation. So as of right now, I have him right now as the best player in football.
Wow.
MVP right now.
MVP. All right, Jaden. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with Trey as well. I mean, I think I have him as MVP for the season so far. Now, when you say football, are you talking about what? What do you mean when you're saying in football?
I mean the NFL currently.
The NFL currently, which
Yeah.
I figured that's what you meant. But
Yeah.
you know, I think I'd put him as one of the top receivers right now.
Yeah.
I don't know about the best in football because there's still a lot of other great people out there, but I think he's, like Trey said, best. He's probably a front runner for the MVP, and I think he's one of the best receivers right now.
Definitely. I'm going to pull up Vegas odds for the NFL MVP real quick, just because I want to get a good look here. So we got, for some reason, Patrick Mahomes is first. I don't really agree with that. I get it, but it's a bunch of quarterbacks, obviously, right? I mean, it's literally all quarterbacks. Justin Jefferson is the first non-quarterback listed in terms of MVP odds.
Yeah.
It's literally just a bunch of quarterbacks. I'm sorry. They have guys like Brock Purdy over him. Like, I'm sorry. No, no, absolutely no way. If I think because Mahomes isn't playing his best ball, obviously he had a decent game last night, but we'll talk about him in a bit. Lamar's team is 3-2. He's played great, I believe they're 3-2 or they're 2-3. I'm not sure which one, but he's been playing great the last few games. He had a great game against the Bengals, which we'll touch on. Josh Allen's team has lost 2 in a row. CJ Stroud isn't doing what he's playing well, but not exactly what we thought. Jaden Daniels is actually playing fantastic, but if you keep going, Sam Darnold, Joe Burrow, who's 1-4 or 1-3 now. I mean, and you have Brock Purdy, who's 2-3, Burrow is 1-4. My apologies on that. Jared Goff not having a great statistical year. All these guys, I'm like, I think Justin Jefferson might be, and it's strictly just because his impact on the field. I implore you guys, whoever has not watched him, anyone listening, if you haven't watched Justin Jefferson play live, watch what he does for that Vikings team. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's crazy. But moving on quickly here to the Jets, over to the Jets side, some breaking news from earlier in the day. Robert Saleh was dismissed from the team, and he reportedly was not even allowed to speak to his players, and he was escorted out by security. They literally escorted him out like he was a supervillain attacking them. I mean, what kind of mess is this? The Jets are so poorly run. Yeah. It's just awful. What's going on here? Is this just the Jets being the Jets? This is obviously not a good look at all. Trey, what do you think?
I mean, I think I recall this probably the first time in Jets history they fired a coach mid-season, if I'm correct.
It's first or second.
Okay, first or second. Okay. But I'm not surprised by it because if you watch Pat McAfee's show, I think Aaron Rodgers said to Pat McAfee before that him and Robert Saleh ain't getting along, and people are blaming Aaron Rodgers for this because I can see why too. Because people are saying that if the Jets had a good quarterback, they might not be winning the AFC, but that ain't happening. So I ain't surprised by it at all. I think it's all Aaron Rodgers wanting him out compared to the opposite.
Yeah. Jaden?
Yeah. I mean, I think the escorting was a little overkill.
That's way overkill. He's not a criminal. Like, come on, guys.
He's probably staying in London right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
but no, I think like I think people are right to bring. Sorry, I think people are you know right to blame Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I not that he's not. I mean, he's not playing terrible, but I mean, he's not doing a whole lot for their team right now.
Mm-mm.
And it's almost like looks like that Aaron Rodgers felt threatened that he was going to lose a spot, and it was kind of like he got people to agree with him, and they kind of did what they had to do to get him out of there.
Yeah, it's craziness. Don't feel too bad for Robert Saleh. I'm going to give y'all some numbers here. So the next 2 years, the Jets have to pay Robert Saleh $19,178 a day. That equates to $134,615.38 a week, and that is over $500,000 a month that he will be making for the next 2 years. Don't feel too bad for him. I feel bad for him because obviously he didn't get to talk to his guys before he left or anything, but he'll be crying in his Lamborghini, wiping his tears away with his Benjamins. I think he's going to be okay. He's going to be okay. And he's out of that mess that the Jets are going on. I could honestly see Robert Saleh taking the rest of this year off and going back to the Niners as the defensive coordinator under Kyle Shanahan, like where he came from. I could definitely see that happening. So it'll be interesting to see. The Jets interim coach is I don't have it written down here. His name is Jeff Ulbrich. He's a former player. I don't know. I think the Jets are absolutely cooked. That's just me. Their offense is horrible. It's literally atrocious. It's just terrible. It's just terrible.
Aaron Rodgers is probably his lowest statistically first 5 games in his career.
Except for last year.
Yeah, but healthy wise. He has 7 touchdowns this year, man. 81 QBR.
Yeah.
I mean,
he threw 29 for 54 this last game.
Dude, that's
and 22 of his pass attempts were specifically to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson only caught 13 of them, which it's a lot of receptions, but you have 101 yards on 22 target. Awful offense. Really ugly to watch. This is just nasty.
He ain't Tom Brady in his 40s, man. He ain't Tom Brady.
He ain't nobody. Apparently, he can't do anything. That offense is stagnant. No motion. Yeah, bad. Jets organization stinks. Y'all stink. Sorry, Jets fans. Your organization's horrible. But moving on here to something a little more positive. The Chicago Bears took on the Carolina Panthers. Bears won 36-10. This was like easily the best game Caleb Williams has played by far. I'm going to give you I did this 2 weeks ago. I'm going to do it again. Caleb Williams passer rating per game. Okay, week 1, 55 passer rating. Bad. Week 2, 51 passer rating. Bad. Week 3, 80 passer rating. A little below average. Week 4, that would be 106 passer rating. Okay, that's not terrible. That's pretty good. Last week on Sunday, 126.2 passer rating. He threw for 304 yards, 20 for 29 completion, and 2 touchdowns. I mean, I know it was the Panthers, I get it, but he looked really good. How are we feeling about Caleb Williams' progress and his shot at Rookie of the Year dead, or is it still alive now that he's finally coming around, Trey?
I think it's coming around. I mean, I know he's just a rookie and all that stuff. People are calling this guy a bust after their first game.
That's insane.
Like, come on, man. People saying Bryce Young is more of a better talent than Caleb Williams. And Bryce Young is 5. And Bryce Young did terrible. Look at the Panthers. They subbed out Andy Dalton and Red Rocket, by the way. For Bryce Young, they didn't do anything after that. So, I mean, Caleb Williams, he's looking really good. I will admit, I was one of those people that said he was not going to be that good. Now
you were.
I was. You can ask Nick for it. Ask Nick.
He was. He was indeed.
Too, but you know what? I'm on a train now. He's just a rookie, man. He ain't CJ Stroud. He ain't Patrick Mahomes. But I have faith in Caleb Williams.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, I think he is fully like um I think he's starting to fully settle into, I'm playing in the NFL now.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think right now, I think for rookie of the year, I think it's between him and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
But
I would have had Malik in there, but Malik did miss a game. So
yeah,
that's going to be harder now.
but I mean, this is his best game. But I mean, the thing about him is he's never gone down. He's always gone up on every single game.
He's gone up, and like I said, he's going to break the passer rating scale, I guess, next week because he keeps going insane. But look at the numbers here. Caleb Williams, 1,091 passing yards. He's going to break every Chicago Bears passing record. That's not like a crazy statement. It's because every quarterback they've had has been horrible. But he's got 1,091 passing yards, 5 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Jaden Daniels has 1,100 passing yards, 1,135 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So I think they're really close. If Caleb keeps having games like this, I could definitely see a very, very close race for this. I'm really excited. Next week, they get to play the woeful Jags, who have the worst secondary of all time. So he's definitely going to be able to throw. And then that week, they get a bye week. And then week 8, they play at Washington. That's going to be awesome. Man. Caleb Williams versus Jaden Daniels. That's going to be a fantastic game. I'm really looking forward to that. That's super exciting. So, yeah, I don't really have much to say about the Panthers. They're kind of just there. No one thought they won one game with Andy Dalton. We're not going to waste any time and talk about the Panthers. I mean, no disrespect at all, but like, come on. No disrespect, but they stink. Okay, they stink. I don't know what you want me to say. They're bad.
You're the worst franchise in the NFL.
Yeah, they're bad. They're going to have the first overall pick again, and hopefully this time they don't trade it away. So, yeah, we're going to move on quickly to a very, very, very awesome game, the Ravens versus the Bengals. This game was unbelievably good, 41-38. We got the battle of the bad defenses. They both gave up tremendous amount of points. Lamar Jackson, over 300 yards passing, almost 350, 348 to be exact, and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Well, fantastic game from him, 119 passer rating. Joe Burrow, 392 yards, five touchdowns, 5 and 1 interception, bad interception in overtime, 137 rating. I just want to ask, are we okay? So the Bengals are 1-4. They are struggling. Their defense is atrocious. Is there any hope, Trey? Give the Bengals. No. Okay, never mind. I was going to say give the Bengals fans hope. Never mind.
No. I'm so sick and tired of hearing Joe Burrow getting all the credit when he's losing. I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
I mean at the end of the day, I would take a W over Superman hero numbers. And
yeah.
Because right now, Mahomes is getting blamed right now on people for being 5-0, not getting credit at all. And then Joe Burrow over here getting credit for the losses. That doesn't make sense to me. They're in the same team as they were 2 years ago.
This defense is horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy. I mean, I don't know, man. I just can't. Go on, guys. I can't do it, Joe Burrow.
Yeah. No,
tired of hearing this guy get all the credit when he's losing.
Yeah. I mean, aside from all that, Joe Burrow finally had a decent game.
Yeah, he played very well.
But no, I think they're done. I mean, even with a good game from Joe Burrow, I mean, they still lost. So
yeah.
They threw a pick too, though. That
it was a bad one. It was in overtime.
Yeah, you see, there you go. That's
yeah.
It was a bad one. His team did get him the ball back. Lamar Jackson had a fumble. One thing, I'm not going to kill Joe Burrow for this game. I said my Joe Burrow piece 2 weeks ago. If you want to hear it, go listen to it. I still consider all those things. I still believe in all those things. I'm not going to kill him for this game, mainly because he threw the ball to Jamar Chase a lot, and I have Jamar Chase on my fantasy team, and he scored 44 points, and I'm very happy. But that aside, of course, I'm very partial. I'm a very partial. I'm not partial. I mean, I'm partial. I'm lying. I'm happy with that. He played well. He played great. It was a great game. Zach Taylor needs to be in the Robert Saleh van on the way to Cancun. Maybe not Cancun, but wherever Saleh's going to go vacation, get Zach Taylor on that plane. He is horrible. He's a horrible head coach. He's awful. You have the ball, okay? You got a turnover. You have a chance. You have Joe Burrow, who is literally on fire, and every slant Jamar Chase ran was an automatic 10 yards without fail, and you ran the ball twice. Okay, and I get it. McPherson's a great kicker. He should make that. What are you doing, bro? What you have Joe Burrow, and you're like, yeah, let's run the ball. And Zach Taylor, of course, he said Joe Burrow, the call was to throw, and Joe Burrow checked into a run. I don't believe that nonsense. I don't believe that nonsense at all. Horrible display of coaching. Awful. You get the ball out of your best player's hands and put it into Chase Brown. No disrespect to Chase Brown, but he's not Joe Burrow or Jamar Chase. Like, bad. Fire him today. Fire him today. He should be on the plane with Saleh right now, wherever they're going to go vacation. Bad.
Yeah.
I mean, just so bad.
That defense was awful, man.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 years ago when we won the championship game, they were really good on defense, but I don't know.
They were.
I don't know what's wrong with them.
They were really good on defense. They are now the 29th ranked defense on Pro Football Focus. Guys, there's 32 teams in the NFL. Okay? That means they're basically dead last. Dead last. Joe Burrow has scored in his last 4 games. He has scored 26, 25, loss, 33, loss. He won 34, 40, 38, loss. Guys, I get it. I've said my Joe Burrow piece, but that defense is horrible. That defense is just bad. I think there's blame to go around everywhere, especially because a lot of the issues was losing that first game to the Patriots, which was all on Joe Burrow's plate. But this defense is bad. The coach is bad. It's over. I don't see how the Bengals can come back from this. I really don't.
No, I agree.
I really don't. They play. So the next four games, these 4 games, and then they play the Ravens again. Giants, Browns, Eagles, Raiders. They have to go 3-1, bare minimum, 3-1. They should go 4-0 because all those teams are bad. No offense to anyone who's a fan of any of those teams. The Giants are sneaky, and I think the Eagles are not very good. But they should go 4-0. And if they go 4-0, they're back in it. If not, it's over. It's over. Moving over to the other side of the ball, the Ravens did pull out the win, but I think that there's more cause for concern than cause for celebration in this game. Your defense, again, gave up a bajillion points. They gave up 38 points. It's the Ravens. They can't. This defense is not the same as it was last year. What are you guys thinking on this? Like, are the Ravens in a bad spot still because of how bad this defense is? How are we feeling, Trey?
I think the defense. I do agree with you. The defense ain't the same as it was last year. I will say this about the offense though. Thank God John Harbaugh put Derrick Henry in I formation and with a fullback with them because in Tennessee, that's why he was really good in Tennessee because of that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting him shotgun formation or on a slot. But other than that, their defense is really bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they're giving. I don't know, man. Their defense is like, it's terrible, man.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, it's bad. Jaden, I mean, is there this AFC North is apparently not as good as we thought. I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah. Also, real quick, they also have had 5 sacks and against other quarterbacks.
It's not good.
They've given up 15,000 yards already.
That's not good.
It's not good at all.
Yeah. I mean, they're still able to pull it out. I mean, they have a pretty strong offense to kind of make up for it. But these games, they'd make these wins a lot easier if they had a defense who would keep them down to some points.
Yeah. I mean, week 1, they lost to the Chiefs. That was a close game, but the Chiefs scored 27 pretty easily. Week 2, the debacle versus the Raiders. Week 3, they beat the Cowboys, but they almost choked in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. The Bengals game, that was just out of hand from the very beginning, so that wasn't very close. But the Bengals score 38. Yeah. And I'm like, this defense, is Lamar going to have to score 40 when he plays an elite offense? They play the Commanders next week, and the Commanders have one of the best offenses in the NFL right now. Like, I'm not sure on the Ravens, but overall it was a fun game though. That's for sure.
I think their passing defense is really terrible because their defense against the run, they're only giving up 302 yards, and compared to the passing, but I think they work on the passing defense big time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Patrick Queen loss is more than we thought it was. I'm not sure what it is. They still have Kyle Hamilton. They still have a lot of great players on that defense. It's just not translating right now. So
yeah,
I'm not sure. They have the Commanders. They have the Buccaneers. They get to play the Browns. But those next 2 games, Commanders and Bucs, those are some good offenses, some really good offenses. So cause for concern for sure.
I agree.
But overall, really fun game at least. Yeah. Moving on here, we had the next game on our slate was the Buffalo Bills taking on the Texans. This was a really strange game. Mm-hmm. It was very odd. I feel like I haven't said that in a while, but this one was a weird one. So it looked like the Bills were just the Texans were just going to run away with it. The Bills mount to come back in the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter with like 8 seconds left or whatever, they kick a field goal. The Kaimi Fairbairn of the Texans kicks a field goal. They win. But my question is here, the Bills lose their second game in a row. Josh Allen's really banged up. They tested him for concussion. He came back out and played, but he's banged up. He got hit hard on his chest. He's going through a lot. Were we too high on the Bills 2 weeks ago when they were 3-0? Trey?
Not gonna lie to you, yeah. We really were. I will admit I was one of those people. I actually had him as my MVP front runner before this game, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I really did. Yeah. And I do think right now I have him still as second best QB in the NFL. But that guy needs to just calm down. He runs too much out of the pocket. I know he's 6'5", but he's one day gonna hurt. He's gonna get hurt one day.
Yeah.
I mean, concussion and hitting the chest, man. The dude needs to dial it down a little bit.
Yeah, I know.
Like, Mahomes used to do that a lot. I think that's why Mahomes is not playing good. He's not playing hero football, but this guy's playing too much Superman football. And he's dialed down just a little bit back. Because in the first game against the Cardinals, he got hurt too. He hurt his fingers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think we're a little too high on the Bills though. They had a little soft schedule too.
Yeah, they did. They did have a soft schedule.
And I think that's why what ended up putting them so high was because they were 3-0 and they were playing really good.
Yeah.
But they didn't play anybody, great necessarily. So I think we looked at more of how good they were playing instead of who they were playing.
Yeah.
Now that they're playing decent teams, it's kind of showing.
Yeah, Josh Allen was 9 for 30. That's 4.4 yards in attempt. I mean, just eek. Bad. Bad.
It's QPR rating too.
Yeah, a 56 rating. Bad. That's really bad. It's just.
That's all. You know how bad that is, man. That was my math grade in AC, man. That was my
Lord.
Hey,
we're gonna end the pod. Trey has to go to tutoring right now.
To go study.
That was a math.
He has to go study. Ooh, doggy. That's rough. That is rough. That's
why I quit engineering, guys.
There you go, guys. That's why he quit engineering. That's crazy. Whew, 56. Heard it here first. Moving to the other side of the ball here. Hopefully no math tests on this end. We have the Texans. They won. They had 23 points. They won 23-20. This game was played in Houston. CJ Stroud had 331 yards and a touchdown. His touchdown was a nuclear missile straight to Nico Collins, who ran so fast and so hard, his hamstring exploded and he had to leave the game. I want to talk quickly about this team. They don't look good, but they keep winning. They're kind of winning Chiefs-esque right now. Yeah. They're not – the defense I thought played really well this game. I know they gave up 20, but they held Josh Allen in check. CJ Stroud played well. I think he had an interception. He hasn't thrown an interception in a long, long time. He had an interception. Nico Collins goes out with a hamstring, which is very, very scary. He is, in my opinion, probably the third best wide receiver in the league, or two or three. I think Jettis is one, and then you can just argue who else. I think Nico was showing that he can be a top 3 guy this year. He goes out after that bomb of a touchdown. I'm not sure on his status. They do have Stephon Diggs still. They have Tank Dell. They have weapons. Can this team hold on to win in Nico Collins' absence? And do we still see them as an AFC contender, Trey?
I do see them as an AFC contender. I think right now, outside the Chiefs right now, probably the second most complete team in the NFL. Because I don't know if you heard, but Kenny always tells us on Football Monday, it says that 3 important things in football to win games: with special teams, offense, and defense. And besides the Chiefs, they have good defense, good offense. Defense can build them out. So, as of right now, I have them right now second in the AFC, in my opinion.
Yeah. Real quickly before you go, Jaden, I think it's important to win games like this where nothing looks good, but you keep winning, because eventually it's going to look good, especially when you have a guy like CJ Stroud. But what do you think, Jaden?
Well, I was looking up the status of Nico Collins. So they initially had him as out for next week's game, but now he's sitting at questionable. So I guess they see a possibility that he'll play.
Hamstring injury is terrible, man.
Yeah.
Hamstrings are scary. Hamstrings are very scary.
Yeah, but I think as far, I see him as a good contender in the AFC. Nobody's touching him in the AFC South for sure.
No.
But
no. Not even Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I think they have a really good chance in the AFC.
Yeah,
definitely. Next week they do play the Patriots. The Patriots did announce that Drake May was going to be the starter in that game. That should be fun. I'm excited. I think he's a really great talent. But that being said, I think they can beat the Patriots with Drake May without Nico Collins. I don't think that they need Nico. If I were them, I'd rest him. Let him come back against the Packers in Week 7. They do have a very late bye. They have a Week 14 bye, so I feel like you should give him that week. You don't have. It's not like just tough it out for 2 weeks and then rest for the bye. No, the bye is not for a long time, like 8 weeks from now. So rest in the Patriots. Because I do think that this team is a contender. Answering my own question, I think that they're an AFC contender. I really like CJ Stroud. He's a bad man, remember? He's a bad man.
Yeah, sorry, Stephen A. Sorry to say it, man.
He's really, really good. He's going to continue to be really, really good. This team has weapons galore. They have a good defense. They have, I believe, an excellent head coach. I'm not so sure on their offensive coordinator, but I really like D'Amico Ryans, their head coach, a lot. So, I think that this was a preview, an AFC preview for maybe a divisional game, because I believe both of these teams will win their division. So they might probably in the divisionals where they would meet, I believe, if the standings fall correctly, because they're both going to win their division. So they're both going to have a home playoff game. So, yeah, we're going to move on here. The Cardinals, excuse me, taking on the San Francisco 49ers in the Bay. They were in San Francisco. Cardinals pull out the W 24-23 on a game-winning field goal kick from their kicker, whose name is escaping me. I believe it's Chad Ryland. Chad Ryland hit the game-winning field goal with about 1:40 left. I'm going to go through a little bit here. I want to start on the Niners side quickly because I feel like this is more telling for the Niners than the Cardinals. If I can quit coughing for 3 seconds, that'd be wonderful. The Niners are now 2-3. Brock Purdy had a really not so good game. He was 19 for 35, 244 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Niners down to 2-3. Like I said, this team is obviously not the same without Christian McCaffrey. And my question was, everyone was saying Brock Purdy can be an MVP, Brock Purdy this, Brock Purdy that, blah, blah, blah. Was Brock Purdy overrated coming into the season in his lack of CMC, in his lack of wins and production, showing that he was overrated coming into the season? Trey, just go ahead and unload, buddy.
Brock Purdy is not elite. He's so overrated. He's overrated. Here's the deal. I saw something on last year. I'll never forget. It was on the Score. That little social media play. Kind of like ESPN Butcher Report. Y'all know what that is. Mm-hmm. They compared this guy to Tom Brady. It's the guy the next Tom Brady. Brock Purdy, to me, never been elite. I mean, at first, I'll never forget. Richard Sherman on Undisputed when that show existed said this guy's better than Joe Montana. There's no way in the world this guy's better than Joe Montana. There's no way. Without CMC, he can't do nothing without CMC. Mason's a good running back. I will give him credit. He's really good. He's pretty much down like pretty average running back, pretty good. But he ain't great. CMC bailed him out many times last year. And the screenplays, he's better receiver than Jordan Mason. Yeah, last year he played against the Patriots, but this guy is not like that. He's overrated in my opinion. He's not MVP. Darren Orlovsky, I saw you on Get Up today. You're on something, man. You're on something, bro. He's overrated, Dan. Sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Jaden, what do you think?
This whole time we've been talking about the Niners and we talking about CMC being out, and the whole time we've kind of been talking about, how like the rest of the team like can't rely on him to, bail them out. But I almost think that Brock Purdy is feeling uncomfortable that he doesn't have a bailout anymore, and that he actually has to, play the pocket right and, actually do more than just look for CMC when, nothing else is available. So I almost feel like we can't really put the blame on the Niners, the rest of the Niners being uncomfortable. I think it's more that Brock Purdy does not feel comfortable and he doesn't have that for sure. Oh, I'll have somebody open if, when I can't pass the ball.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's super overrated. Okay? Super overrated. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Niners fans, I'm sorry. I have a friend, Amish, if he's watching, he calls Brock Purdy now Jimmy Garoppolo 2.0. And that's what he is. He's a little better than Jimmy Garoppolo, but if he doesn't have the Avengers on his team, he can't do anything.
That's true.
I'm sorry. He just can't. And
Like
there's no
Curry.
he exactly. He's like Nick Fury except like not. But he still has Trent Williams. He still has George Kittle. He still has Deebo Samuel. He still has Brandon Ayuk. He still has all these incredible players and a really great offensive head coach, and he can't pull out wins like this. I don't get it. He throws an interception in the fourth quarter to seal the game late. He got hit by Budda Baker. He got hit as he threw. That ball needed to be out way earlier than it was. The ball flies up in the air, interception. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a Brock Purdy hater, but when I've heard elite talk, I've heard last year he was in the MVP discussion, this and that and this and that. I'm like, guys, he has 5 all-pros around him on offense. 5.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey is one of the best running backs of our generation. And it's very obvious how badly they miss him. And I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. They miss his pass catching ability. There's no Christian McCaffrey sitting in the flat where you can throw the ball to him when you need a bailout and he breaks 17 tackles and gets 40 yards. You don't have that anymore. You don't have a bailout. Mm-hmm. You can't throw a screen to McCaffrey and get an easy touchdown because Christian McCaffrey's apparently runs a 4.3 and can't get tackled. It's just, he's super overrated. I'm sorry. He just is. It's the way it is.
I can't stand it.
They've lost 3 games this year, guys. 3. They're 2-3. And I'm not so sure how much easier. I got to pull up their schedule here. I want to look at this real quick. They play next week. They play Seattle. Okay. Seattle had a bad loss to the Giants, but that's still going to be a tough game. That's this Thursday's game. So you go from getting beat up by the Cardinals straight into they have to go to the 12th man in Seattle. They're playing in Seattle, one of the hardest places to play. They go to Seattle. Then they play the Chiefs. Okay, they play the Kansas City Chiefs. That game is in Santa Clara, but we know Mahomes can go into any stadium and do what he wants. Then they play the Cowboys, then they get a bye. Then they get Tampa, Seattle, Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, Dolphins, finally a decently easy game. Then they go Lions, Cardinals. This is one of the hardest end of season stretches. Like, this is brutal. Mm-hmm. Like, are they going to miss the playoffs? I think it's on the board. But yeah, there's my Brock Purdy piece. I apologize to all Brock Purdy supporters. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just tell it how it is. He's just not elite. He's a decent quarterback who got heavily overrated. And he's showing you no Christian McCaffrey, no wins. Maybe he'll prove me wrong and they'll win out. And maybe they will. I doubt it, but maybe they will. Who knows?
They should have won this game by far.
They should have won this game. They should have won this game, but they didn't. And they were up at one point 23-10, and Brock Purdy and the Niners choke it away. Don't score a single point in the second half. That is, I'm sorry, if you don't score a single point in the second half, the blame is going to go to the quarterback. It's just the way it goes. Because what do Niners fans do when they win? Oh, Brock Purdy's so good, this and that. He gets all the credit when they win. He has to get the majority of the blame when they lose. Yeah. So there you go.
I would say right now, they ain't winning the division at all. Oh. They ain't winning it. I have Seahawks winning this division. I think the Seahawks could. I funnily enough, I think the Rams could still win it. I know the Rams are 1-4, but they're eventually going to get Puka and Cooper Kupp back, and I think they could go on a run and win the division. I think Seattle could win the division. Arizona could win.
It's up in the air. I believe that all of them. So Seattle's 3-2, San Francisco's 2-3, Cardinals are 2-3, Rams are 1-4. That's anyone's division. There's so much football left to be played. So Sorry, Niners fans.
Sorry. I can't.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
I cannot stand the whole elite talk of Brock Purdy. I never thought he was elite at all. Never thought he was. He's Clark Kent without Superman, bro.
Yeah, and we've seen Jimmy Garoppolo take the Niners to the Super Bowl. I mean, I was not impressed. He had great numbers. Yeah. I mean, Jimmy G 2.0. Jimmy G 2.0. Shout out to Mish. Moving on to Sunday Night Football. If you guys were able to stay awake to watch this one, because it started almost 2 hours late because of weather delay. This game was played in Pittsburgh. The Cowboys take on the crazy game. It was actually a snooze fest until the fourth quarter. Yeah. Cowboys score 14 points, including a game-winning touchdown pass from Dak Prescott to Jalen Tolbert, who's Trey's going to be eating some crow about Jalen Tolbert today because he was bashing Tolbert for weeks, calling him, who even is this guy? Don't even know this guy. He comes out. He has 87 yards and a game-winning touchdown. Trey, I'm going to go straight to you. Are you ready to apologize to Jalen Tolbert?
Jalen, I'm sorry, man. I love you, man. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up, please, bro. I mean, you probably saved our season, man.
That was a season-winning, season-saving game.
I'm sorry, man. It brought my heart, bro. I'm gonna get me start crying, man.
You know,
love you, bro. Thank you for saving the season, man. Thank you for saving the season.
I think this whole time, Trey was intentionally bashing on Jalen Tolbert in hopes that he'd watch the podcast.
Maybe so. Maybe you motivated him.
So that way, when he watched the podcast, he'd prove you wrong. So
maybe you motivated him. I mean, with Brandon Cooks on IR, the team desperately needed a guy to step up to be that wide receiver too. And it looks like it's Tolbert. He had 10 targets, 7 receptions, 87 yards. You still – Jerry Jones is – yeah, we don't. I mean, they weren't going to get him anyways because Jerry Jones is Jerry Jones. But I won't say what I was going to say. But Jalen Tolbert, he looks like the wide receiver too. That touchdown. So the play before, he got smacked where the sun don't shine really hard. So the way it went is he got hit where it hurts really bad, and he came over to the huddle and he looked in really bad pain. He asked to come off. He goes off the field. He asked to come off himself. He goes off. Then the Cowboys go out on that fourth down without Tolbert was not there. He was on the sideline. Then Pittsburgh calls a timeout. Then after the timeout, Tolbert's back out, obviously still in pain. If you look at the route he ran when he crossed CD, it looked like he was still limping and in pain, and he found enough speed and enough grit to get that ball. He catches it firm, strong hands. The DB played it well. He tried to hit it out. Tolbert held on and saved the Cowboys season. They go up to 3-2 now. That puts them in the lead of the Division 4 now because Philadelphia had a bye week. Philly's 2-2. Cowboys are 3-2. I'm sorry, the Commanders are in the lead of the division at 4-1, but that puts them at second place in the division. Probably saved the season. Still have a chance. So how are we feeling? Can the Cowboys still win the NFC East?
Yes, they can. They really can. I will admit, I thought, man, we are so cooked after that game. Derrick Henry. I was about I have a Michael Irvin jersey. I was about to throw in the trash. I love the playmaker, and even though he's not playing no more, but I thought we're throwing everything in Cowboys away, except even that football I signed. But you know what? We saved the season. Thank you, Jalen Tolbert. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, man. And I think we have a chance though. The Eagles are mediocre. I don't think Sirianni is a good coach at all.
No, Sirianni should also be on the plane with Saleh. By the way,
and I can lie to you, that team is really overrated too.
Mm-hmm. They definitely are. I
can't stand it. They have Saquon Barkley too. They're probably the best running back they had since LaShawn McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're overrated.
I mean, real quickly, Jaden, I'm going to let you go here, but I want to talk about one thing really fast. The Cowboys were without two of their three best defenders, and then Deron Bland's still out, so that makes three. But Micah wasn't there, and D-Law was not there. Neither of them were there, and they held up. They held up very strongly. They managed to pull out the win. I want to pull up the stats here because I want to look at the rushing yards. So I've been very critical of the Dallas rush defense, obviously. Pittsburgh likes to run the ball. They love to run the ball. Dallas held them to 92 yards on 26 carries. That's 3.5 rushing yards. I'm sorry, 3.5 yards per rush. No touchdowns.
That's really good.
If Micah and D-Law come back and they can't stop the run again, trade them.
Yeah.
Trade them. They're the problem. If they can't stop the run, trade them. I'm partially joking, but at the same time, the defensive line really stepped up and played extremely well without their two best guys. I mean, those are literally the best guys, and they played extremely well. Golston, Odigizua, Tyrus Wheat, and Carl Lawson and Linval Joseph. Four of those guys had half a sack, and Linval Joseph had a sack himself.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden, can this team win the NFC East with this newfound ability to actually defend the run?
Well, the only reason they've been losing is because they couldn't stop the run.
Yeah.
Their offense. They have a pretty strong offensive team, and they're great on the offensive side. And I think now that they can stop this run a little better, I think they have a good shot at winning their division.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle. What's up?
The Cowboys' offense was really good rushing too.
Yeah. Rico. I was about to say Rico Dowdle had a good game. He had 87 yards on the ground. He had a touchdown through the air. But this team, as constructed right now, I think could win the NFC East if the Commanders cool off a little bit and aren't apparently one of the best teams in football. But we'll see. But over to the other side, the Steelers, Justin Fields cannot throw the football. I'm sorry. He goes out for a play. Kyle Allen comes in and immediately completes a 19-yard pass through the air. And I'm like, dude, Justin Fields literally can't throw the ball. Yeah. He can't. Yeah. He can't. And a quick stat, I don't want to hate on the guy. Because I have no issues with him at all. But I want to hate a little bit on Bears fans. Because after game one, all you guys were saying, we should have kept Fields and drafted Marvin Harrison. No, you shouldn't have. You want to know why?
That same thing. I will admit the same.
Yeah, Trey said the same thing. He's over there. He's on that side. Trey said the same thing. But Caleb Williams, through 5 games, has more 300-yard passing games than Justin Fields did as a Bear.
Oh, wow.
And as a Steeler.
And as a Steeler, because he only has one as a Steeler. He can't throw the ball. And the Cowboys actually did extremely well holding him to only 27 yards rushing. I think Russell Wilson might get some playing time this year. That's kind of all I have on the Steelers. If you guys want to add anything,
I'm gonna say this straight up. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I'm gonna say it. Mike Tomlin is the most overrated coach of all time.
Oh wow! Time.
Because here's why. I get it. He's never had a losing season. I get that. Respect to him. That's a great career. Hall of Fame career for sure.
Definitely.
What has he done without Big Ben? Nothing. I know George Pickens. I can't stand that guy either. I can't stand that George Pickens guy. That guy's a girl. He's a diva. Talking about diva, him and Aaron Rodgers are up there. But Mike Tomlin, to me, is the most overrated coach of all time. For once, bro, go do something with the offseason for once. Quit building off the drafts, please. I mean, right now I have him overrated because without this guy has been past the first divisional round since 2016. That's 7 years. That's like almost 8 years ago. I was only in middle school when that happened at Crockett Middle School. I'm sorry, I can't stand this guy's getting so much credit for not having a losing season. Good for him. Where's the rings for it, man? You haven't done anything since Big Ben and James Harrison and Ryan Clark and Troy Polamalu. Like, come on, man, quit giving. I'm so sick and tired. I'm so sick and tired of hearing this guy. I wouldn't do nothing in the wild card.
Yeah. I mean, that's just we were talking about how bad the Jets' offense is. The Steelers is just like worse somehow. Like it's bad.
Big Ben,
bad.
Without Big Ben, they're like nothing, man.
I think they should give Russell Wilson at least a shot because he can actually throw the football.
If not, Mike Tomlin, hang it up. Retire already, man. Just retire. Quit. Wow. I'm so sick and tired of hearing people say, "Oh, he's this and that." All this and that. Season. Good for him, bro. Where's the rings for it?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There you have it, guys. There you have it. We're gonna move on here to Monday Night Football. The game yesterday saw the Saints taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead. The Chiefs pulled it out 26-13. Mahomes without Rashee Rice. 331 yards in the air. He had an interception that wasn't his fault. It bounced off of – it was in Juju Smith-Schuster's hand, flew out. He couldn't hold on to it and was picked. So that's not really on him for that. He's had some games where he's had some really bad picks. This was not one of them. That pick was definitely not his fault. But they pull out the win. Kareem Hunt looked awesome. He had 100-plus rushing yards on the ground and a touchdown. Yeah, the Chiefs just take care of business, moved to 5-0. The defense looked great. They did give up one long bomb to Rashid Shaheed. It was like a 43-yard bomb or something like that. It was a nice throw by Derek Carr, but that's kind of all they gave up. Mm-hmm. They only scored 13. It was 2 touchdowns. That's all they gave up. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to pull from this. We know the Chiefs are really good, and we now apparently the Saints are actually not that good. I mean, you guys can add whatever you think here, but I think we were all expecting the Chiefs to pull away with this game.
Yeah. Sorry, Derek Carr fans. Overrated too.
I feel like there's like 3 Derek Carr fans. No disrespect, but
well, Saints fans, sorry, man.
There you go.
Yeah, y'all haven't done anything since Drew Brees and Sean Payton, so I think that the Chiefs are so complete, man. They're such a complete team.
I mean, even with all the injuries that they've been through, they're still pulling it through.
If Mahomes wins a chip without Rashee Rice out and Xavier Worthy and Noah Gray and Travis Kelce. By the way, that Travis Kelce play was unbelievable.
The lateral, he had a good game.
He's getting more active now.
Mahomes and Kelce are getting their groove together.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's definitely one of the things. No Rashee Rice, which Kelsey's got to get more involved now. He's got to get more involved. 10 targets, 9 receptions, 70 yards, and an awesome lateral play that to P. Ryan that they were, I believe it was second. I think it was 3rd and 34. They do that play. It's 4th and 1. Kareem Hunt gets the first down. Really, really, really incredible. Juju Smith-Schuster had 130 yards on 7 catches, 50-yard bomb. I mean, yeah, complete team, really good defense. Trent McDuffie's fantastic. I think their corner, Brian Cook, is awesome. I think Jalen Watson's really good. Obviously, you have that big dog in the middle, Chris Jones. I really like all their defensive guys. Chanel, Drew Tranquil. You got, their edge rushers, George Karlaftis. Really good team. I mean, I think we knew that going in. They were one of the few teams we thought was really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Chris Jones right now, in my opinion, is defensive player of the year as of right now.
I mean, yeah, I don't think he's got really great sack numbers, but he's always there on the play. He's always there when he needs to be there. So yeah, overall, good game. Good game for the Chiefs. It wasn't really that fun to watch because Chiefs just kind of owned them. I mean, they had 39 minutes of possession compared to the Saints 20. So I mean, Jaden, do you have anything else to add there?
No, I mean, Chiefs. I mean, I still think the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Same.
it's looking like it's still even without Rashee Rice.
Like the Patriots when Tom Brady wasn't playing good, and Gronk wasn't playing good either. Who bailed him out?
They still have the defense.
Yeah, the defense bailed him out.
They still have that defense and Spagnuolo. Don't know why he's not a head coach somewhere, but maybe it's because he wants to keep getting jewelry by winning rings in Kansas City. So don't blame him at all. But that rounds out our NFL slate. We're going to move quickly over to college football. We have a couple. Excuse me. We have a couple really good games. This was where more upsets took place. It was upset week in the college football realm. The first one, the big one, shocking one.
Man,
Vanderbilt beats at the time ranked number 1 Alabama 40-35. Trey is the resident Alabama fan. I want you to take this one. Just start. Just go ahead. Go ahead.
Man. You know what, man? I will admit I'm disappointed by them, man. I had to roll tide. Come on, man. Come on, Bama. Come on. I will admit, Nick, you weren't here last week, but I said this to Jaden. I had them going to SEC championship game against the Longhorns. I did have them going. I thought they were better than Georgia, but you know what? I don't know. I think Texas right now is the best team in the SEC.
Yeah.
Right now. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Bama, disappointing, man. I think it ain't the same team as it was with Nick Saban at all. Nick Saban, with that team, man, they would have won that game with Nick Saban.
Yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt just dominated time of possession, 42 minutes to 17 minutes. I mean,
and Matt Rowe hurt his case for Heisman. He hurt his case probably.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He had decent numbers, 310 yards, a touchdown, and 1 interception. He only had 10 yards on the ground. That Vanderbilt defense stopped the run. They stopped the run. Yeah, I mean, crazy.
And Saban had to say something about it on McAfee's show. He had to say something about that. He had to say, he just puts the SEC to play. Look what happened.
It's just rough. I wasn't here last week, but I wanted to say when I saw that Alabama was ranked 1, I was like, they shouldn't be. I still think the Longhorns are the best team in the nation, and Alabama kind of proved my point there by losing to Vanderbilt. Jaden, you have anything to add on this game?
No, I mean, I just don't know what happened.
They got humbled.
They got humbled. They got humbled.
Just an interesting game to lose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I mean, moving on to another game, Arkansas beats Tennessee, who was ranked 4 at the time. I believe it was 4 or 5 at the time. I mean, just upsets. Then we go over here. California almost beat Miami. This was a crazy game. The Hurricanes scored 21 straight points in the fourth quarter. Cam Ward, man. Cam Ward's really good at football. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Cam Ward's really good at football.
I think right now him and Travis Hunter as Heisman candidates.
I'm going to talk about my Heisman candidate here in a little bit. I have some fun numbers to show with you guys. I'm going to do that real quick, actually. Okay, so I have 2 numbers here, okay? Let me pull up one here. This is going to be really fun. I'm really excited to show you guys this, okay? All right. So I'm going to give you guys some numbers, okay? This is through 5 games, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, alrighty, here we go. So tell me who you think's having a better year. All right, this is through 5 games. Player A, 1,031 yards, 16 touchdowns, 10 yards per carry. Okay, that's player A. Player A, okay? Player B, 1,100 rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, 12 yards a carry. Who do you think's having a better year? Probably player A, yeah? 16, yeah?
From Boise State, huh?
Yeah.
So player A is Ashton Jeanty from Boise State. Player B is my running back from College Football 25.
Who is it?
I made him.
Oh. Okay. Okay, probably the
Ashton Jeanty literally has video game numbers.
Yeah, he does, man.
I mean, this guy is unbelievable. By the way, he didn't play two halves. He didn't play the half. He didn't play the second half versus Washington State. No, I'm sorry. He didn't play the second half versus Portland State, and he didn't play the second half versus Utah State. This guy literally has video game numbers. He's unbelievable. He's my Heisman. I'd have him 1. I'd probably have Travis Hunter 2, and I'd probably have Cam Ward 3. But Ashton Jeanty is unbelievable. He has like 725 yards after contact. He bounced. I mean, he's unbelievable. He's going to save the Dallas Cowboys franchise. He's going to do it.
If we get it.
I hope for his sake he gets drafted somewhere else. But if he gets drafted to the Cowboys, unbelievable player. Unbelievable player. That's.
What team do you play for in NCAA?
I bounced around my first year. I played for Kentucky. Okay, Kentucky. I'm a 99 overall, and that was my first 5 games in my senior year. Okay? Oh, wow. And Ashton Jeanty has better numbers than my video game character.
Man, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
I played for Alabama.
Yeah, of course you played for Alabama.
Okay, dude.
I'm kidding. Real quick here. So we covered a couple of those upsets. I want to talk.
Tech, man. You know what? They can win. They probably win the Big 12.
They're number one right now.
Texas Tech goes to Arizona, who just beat Utah State, who was ranked 10 at the time, and they put the whooping on them. That defense came to play. My boys, Baron Morton leading the way. He actually didn't even have to do that much. Taj Brooks he lost the day, then he saved the day. He had 2 fumbles, which is literally insane. He has never had 2 fumbles. He's a senior. Up until last game, he had 4 fumbles in his entire career at Texas Tech, and then he had 2 in one game. But he had 3 touchdowns. I believe he had 3 touchdowns on the ground. So he made up for it. He won the game. Texas Tech now 3-0 in Big 12 play at the top. They're 5-1 overall. They should be ranked. Okay? Yeah, but the AP poll is stupid. It's okay. You know what? You want to know why? Because I enjoy the underdog story. Arizona's a good win. And I think
Arizona's favored to win, by the way.
Yeah.
They were favored to win.
Oh, they were favored by almost a touchdown. It was a 6.5 point favorite. I
think Texas will win the Big 12.
I agree.
I think they can.
I was first scared about it after the first game against Abilene. I thought we were like, okay, they're frauds, but you know what?
I don't know what happened, but the defense all of a sudden remembered how to play football. You have the linebacker. His name is, let me pull it up here. The linebacker, Jacob Rodriguez, is a dog. He's a dog. The defense was flying all over the place. I was really, really happy. And just, I watched the game. It was a really late game that was played in Arizona. So I think it ended around almost 2 a.m. I watched the whole thing. I watched the entire thing, and I was very, very happy for my Red Raiders. Taj Brooks, the best running back in the Big 12. Baron Morton did what he needed to do. He didn't turn the ball over. He didn't have a great statistical game, but he did. Just keep the ball out of harm's way. That's what he did. They won. 5-1, baby. 5-1. It should be 6-0, but it's okay. I'm not going to get greedy. Moving on for the schedule for Tech. Their next game is Baylor this next 2 Saturdays from now. Baylor, then they play TCU in Fort Worth. Then they play Iowa State, who's ranked 11. That's going to be a great game. Then they play Colorado in Lubbock November 9th. Then they play Oklahoma State in West Virginia. If they beat Iowa State and they're not ranked, say they beat Baylor and beat TCU, and if they beat Iowa State and I don't see a number by their name, I'm going to find the AP director dudes, and I'm going to do something that I'm not going to share online. And I get very angry with them. But
it's crazy they ain't ranked. That's crazy they ain't ranked.
and a lot of people have said, I've kind of looked around just to see what the consensus was, if people thought they should be ranked or if not. A lot of people think so, but a lot of people were saying they don't have a good win. And I turn your attention to the Indiana Hoosiers, who are ranked 18. And okay, tell me if you know any of these teams. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
FIU.
No, I don't know what that is.
Okay, Western Illinois.
No.
UCLA? Yeah, we know UCLA.
UCLA.
They're horrible at football. Charlotte.
Charlotte what?
The Charlotte 49ers. I'm not even kidding, bro. The Charlotte 49ers.
No, there's no way.
Okay.
Oh,
The Maryland Terrapins.
The what?
Maryland Terrapins.
What's a terrapin?
I don't know. Y'all know them? Okay,
No.
Northwestern Wildcats.
No.
Okay, that's every team the Indiana Hoosiers have beaten this year, and they're ranked 18.
Oh my word.
Oh.
They're ranked 18. They play Nebraska 2 weeks from now.
It's
And well, that's about basketball, not football.
apparently because of the movie, bro.
So I don't want to hear Jack. I don't want to hear anyone say that the Red Raiders don't have a good win. That Arizona win is far better than any single win. And I think the Arizona State win is better than, by the way, West Texas owns Arizona. We beat both of your teams. Never talk to me again. No one from Arizona has even talked to me. But if you're from Arizona, don't talk to me because we own you. Hoosiers haven't beaten anybody.
Just a random side note. A terrapin is a turtle.
Okay. Well, the Hoosiers have beaten a turtle, so they're apparently ranked 18. Horrible, horrible, horrible. I don't care. I do not care. And you could say, yeah, Tech lost. I get it. I'm not saying they should be ranked over the Hoosiers. I don't really care about that. They should be ranked because they have wins far, far better.
Yeah.
Indiana has to play Nebraska. That's a tough team. They're not ranked anymore, but that's still a tough team. Then they have to play Washington, who beat Michigan, and they have to play Ohio State eventually. Jeremiah Smith's going to have 9,000 receiving yards on them. So nothing against Indiana. I'm just really confused why Tech's not ranked and Indiana Hoosiers are. But
that's nuts.
Rest my case. I rest my case. Still super, super happy. 3-0 in the Big 12. Let's go. Let's ride Red Raiders. Let's keep it going.
They're going to win it. I think they're going to win the Big 12.
Hey, if they win the Big 12 and go to the playoffs, I'm gonna have to take off for the pod because I'm going to the game. Okay, and they probably won't even be on the same day, but just I'll have to celebrate. But like we said at the beginning, there's a chance, and they're still in it. They're definitely still in it. Really, really good day to be a Red Raiders fan because it's like the first time the football team has actually done anything positive since 2008. So
Michael,
yeah, I mean, even with Mahomes, the defense was atrocious. So they still weren't that great. So we're going to move quickly. That's over. That's all the football talk we're going to do today. We're going to move quickly to some MLB. The postseason is happening right now. We are in the division series right now. I can't speak English. Right now, the Guardians and Tigers are tied 1-1. The Mets are up 2-1 on the Phillies, which is pretty impressive. Dodgers and Padres are tied at 1 apiece. That game is taking place right now. The Padres are up 6-5 right now, top of the third inning. So, hey, I was just in San Diego, and maybe I gave him some good luck, but Ohtani's on the other side, so I'm not sure what's going to happen. And then Trey's New York Yankees lost a game in New York to the Kansas City Royals, and Aaron Judge is nowhere to be found.
What happened, dude? You know what's crazy, Nick? Jay, you know what's crazy? So when you hit 50 home runs this year, it was Kenny, it was myself, it was Logan, and then Jesse Sheffield, Dusty Boyd, Phil Woolaw. We all said he's going to break his record. People say he was break Bonds' record. Everybody said that. I don't know what happened to that dude, and he's been APP for a long time now, bro. Since that streak happened. If the Yankees lose, man, oh my goodness.
If the Yankees lose to the Royals, I
I don't know, man.
Aaron Judge was 1 for 3. No, he was struck out once. No RBI, no home runs. That was game 2. Okay. Game 1, they won 6-5, but he was at bat for 4 times. He was walked once, no hits. He is AWOL. He is nowhere to be seen in this series. I mean, they need him. The Royals pitching is too good. They need Aaron Judge to step up, or they're going to lose that series, which is not good. Not good at all. Here,
they were number 1 in their division too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They had a great season. They almost had 100 wins, and I think they were 98 wins. They had a great season. Pulling up here some stats. Ohtani, right now 1 of 2. He has a run. Mookie Betts has a home run. 6-5. This Padres-Dodgers series is actually really good. The games have been fun to watch. I'm going to probably watch the rest of the game after we conclude the pod here. But yeah, that's the baseball scene right now. The Mets look incredible.
Aaron Judge, step up, bro. Step up.
He needs to, but I don't know, man. Those Kansas City Royals can pitch, bro. I don't know.
Hear it all day on 806 Sports Radio with Kenny, with Logan, with Megan, and I want to hear it, bro. Step up.
You're gonna hear it from me.
I'm hearing from Nick too and Jaden. Step up, Yankees. Please step up. You haven't won since I was 6 years old. Yo, this is Derek Jeter. Step up.
I believe the next time we meet next week, that series will be wrapped up. Yeah, so you better hope and pray, because I'm going to come with some heat if the Royals win.
Bro, I'm a fast bro for a win.
Bro, that's insane.
I'm like opposite this.
Oh, that's so funny, dude.
One shocking thing is the Phillies and Mets series, man. That's insane.
Yeah, the Mets look good. They look really good. I mean, a lot of people have the Phillies winning it all, or at least beating the Mets. But yeah, the Mets look awesome. They're 2-1 in the series. They have firm control. It's a best of 5. So if they win game 4, it's over. It's over. And I think this year's kind of up for grabs, kind of like last year was. It would be awesome to have a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. I doubt it's going to happen, because I think the Royals are going to beat the Yankees. I'm sorry, I do. But hopefully we get at least some good league championship game series. I think the Mets-Dodgers would be good. I think the Mets-Padres, Phillies, whatever way you want to do it. Playoff baseball is really fun to watch, so I'll be tuning into that Padres game. Wrapping up here, though, we're going to talk about a special person. As if you guys can see here, I wore a hat in honor of him. Okay, do you see that? You see what that says? You know who we're going to be talking about? LeBron James. Yeah, I wore my LeBron James hat today, as y'all can see. GOAT James plays in a preseason game with his son, LeBron James Jr.
Yeah.
this is the first time in NBA history that a father and son duo are on the court at the same time. You can say what you want about Bronny. I don't know why people all of a sudden care about a second round pick. If anyone is upset at the Bronny pick, I want you to go to the comments, okay? Without looking at the internet, I want you to name me 5 second round picks from the last 5 years. Okay? One from each year. If you can do that, you have every right to complain. No one cares. It's a second round pick. Let the guy play with his son. Who cares? It's LeBron James, guys. It's LeBron James.
That's why you're criticizing is LeBron.
But it does, like, he has earned the right to play with his son. He has earned the right. What he's done for the league, what he's done for the Lakers, all of that. He's earned that right. But that being said, what does this mean for, and not in a joking way, but what does it actually mean for LeBron's legacy, Trey?
You know, this is probably the greatest sports story ever in my lifetime. I think LeBron. Let me say something quick. I said this last week, Nick, and Giannis said the same thing about his brothers. That's nepotism.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, corporations, businesses, they can hand it to their son. That's nepotism. All because this is LeBron James.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Bunch of whiners and cars out there. Well, this is probably the greatest sports story ever. I mean, I've heard people talk about King Griffey Jr. and his dad playing together on the same team for the Marlins. People talk about Tiger and Charlie. That might be up there too one day. If that ever happens. But I think this is probably the greatest sports story in my lifetime. It probably is. I mean, 22 years in the NBA. I spent 22 in 2 weeks. I really do. And this guy, Bronny, graduated the same class as my sister, by the way, in high school. Katrina. Love you, Katrina. Shout out to you. But here's the deal. This is the greatest sports story ever, man. I mean, I can't believe it. I watched this game. I wanted to see it from my own eyes. And, man, I literally almost started crying, bro. I was too emotional to see it. It was a beautiful thing to watch. This kid had a cardiac arrest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jaden pointed out that it's like at the bad percentage for surviving it, right, Jaden? Right, Jaden, right?
Yeah.
Like a cardiac arrest, man, and playing in the NBA. That's an unbelievable story. And I think with JJ Redick too, as a coach, will help him develop. JJ Redick don't take anything from him. He has a winning mentality. He really does. Watch him on First Take, ESPN, even his podcast. But he has a winning mentality. He learned from Coach K a lot in his career. But you know what? I can't believe I saw it in my own eyes, man. I can't believe I watched a father and son duo outside of golf play in the NBA in my lifetime. I'll never see it again. It's probably the greatest story in history of sports. That's all I gotta say about that.
Jaden?
Yeah. Going kind of bouncing off what Trey said, I think if you took, any no-name person in the NBA and you put their son in there in the game, nobody says anything. But I think since it's someone like LeBron that they're putting so much, there's more talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I mean, this is the first time this has ever happened. And, there's always, no matter what happens, there's always going to be people who are going to, be hating on something. But, I mean, this, regardless of how Bronny played, to see a father and a son go out there and play in the NBA, that's unlike anything else, really.
Yeah, it's just another notch on the legacy belt for LeBron. I obviously, as everyone knows, think he's the GOAT. I think this makes that move one way or another. Not really. I think it's more about him and his family's personal achievement. I think what's more impressive is look at LeBron's stat line from that game. He played fantastic in that game.
Points in the first half.
Yeah, he played awesome in that game. I get it's a preseason game, but you guys have to understand that this guy is literally turning 40 in December. He's turning 40 years old in December. LeBron goes out in 16 minutes. He has 19 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 blocks. He's almost 40. And he's still incredible. He's still at worst a top 10 player. Trey thinks he's the best player in the league still.
LeBron said himself in the press conference, he has a lot.
He did. He said he has a lot in the tank left. He's got to be an alien. I know there's been a lot of talk about alien sightings. Don't worry, guys. Those are just LeBron's family members. They just wanted to watch the game. That's LeBron's dad, his grandpa. They just wanted to watch the game. They wanted to watch him and Bronny. They wanted to see their grandson. So that's why they flew over. That's why they were so close, because LeBron's definitely an alien. It's unbelievable how impressive his longevity is. If anyone says longevity does not matter in the GOAT debate, you're just wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry. You're just wrong. Being able to be good at something consistently for a long time makes you better at the thing.
Yeah.
Just for instance, would we take a guy? I'm not gonna be long, I promise. I just want to go through this real fast. A guy plays 5 years in the NBA. He has 2 championships, 2 MVPs, then he retires because he just doesn't want to play anymore. Is that better than a guy that played for 20 years consistently, played amazing, had 3 rings, 3 MVPs? We're going to take the guy that's played for longer because he did it for longer. He was able to sustain his greatness for longer, and that's what LeBron has done. That's what LeBron has done. It matters. It's important. He's almost 40, and he's still competing at an extremely high level. That matters. That's important. That's just another notch. Really, really awesome. I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy for his family.
And not only that, I don't know if it was on Basketball Reference, but his scoring points per game went up by 5 of the 10th, 27.1 now. I think it plays a lot longer. He might beat Jordan's 30.1 scoring per game. I think he can do it too.
Yeah, it just depends on how much he's asked to score. I'm not sure. We'll see. I'd like to see him more in that 2020 role where he's like a true point guard. I think that would suit him best. But
JJ Redick, man,
I like JJ Redick. I like him. I was a little concerned about him as a head coach.
Yeah,
I really like him. He's very, very smart. He talks about basketball. He takes no baloney from the media, and he doesn't have his stupid hands in his pocket all the time like Darvin Ham did.
And popcorn too in the sidelines.
Oh my lord, I just can't stand it. But I'm really looking forward to this NBA season. Yeah, I'm just don't get me started on Ham, but I'm looking forward to this NBA season. I think the Lakers it'll be interesting to see how they do with JJ Redick as head coach. But yeah, we'll talk more about basketball as we get closer and closer to the season. We are in the preseason, so it's coming soon, but get ready. We're going to have to figure out how to talk about basketball and football at the same time. That's going to be pretty hard. We might discuss doing 2 separate ones or something, or doing abbreviated ones. We'll discuss that in the future. But that's all we have for this week's episode, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, I apologize for my absence last week. I want to thank Trey and Jaden for holding down the fort in my absence. Trey did a fantastic job hosting. That was really good. And Jaden, fantastic as always. Really appreciate all the support from everybody. And don't forget who the GOAT is. All right. We'll see you guys later.
So it's
not a tie. It's LeBron.
It's a tie for me, man. I appreciate both.